Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hermit's Corner. I have a very special guest today. It is Char from Charlie's Angels Tarot. Yes, today we'll be reviewing our deck of Tarot of Oppositions, and we're going to be starting with Cups today. So give me a few seconds and let Char come back online.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Happy New
Thank you
Year.
for joining me today, Char.
Hi, Dean. Happy New Year. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Happy to see you. And of course,
Yes.
after all that busy time making all the videos in the sphere of Christmas and Happy New Year, and wow,
Yes.
being busy.
Being on vacation or holiday, and it's always the end of the year. It's always really busy, at least the last quarter of the year. It's getting things finished and done. Been well rested. How about you? Well rested?
Yeah. Well, no, I haven't rested. I've been pretty active. I've started to do finance readings and the rough, and that's 12 videos, and I did the weeklies, and then I did also the romance videos, and I do everyday videos on shorts for YouTube and TikTok.
Interesting. So you've been keeping really busy.
Yeah.
So as a reminder, we are doing the review of the Tarot of the Opposition deck. We've had several videos uploaded. We went through the major arcana. We went through swords. We went through pentacles. So I will be uploading those videos later, sometime this week. Before the end of the month, they'll be uploaded on the Hermit's Corner. But the first three videos, check Char's channel out because we did them there. And today we agreed that I would host the I think the last two. Is that right?
Yes.
Of
We do the cups and the wands.
the Cups and Wands. So I'll be hosting the last two of the Tarot of Opposition deck. If you're interested, I would say give this deck a whirl. I mean, it's completely different, and as I said in my description, everybody reads differently. The cards, the artist has an interpretation of them, the writer has an interpretation of them, and what makes it great about doing collabs, about doing deck reviews, we get to learn from each other and put
Definitely.
things in our tool bag. So Char picked out the cups to go over today. So Char, would you like to start off with the Ace of Cups?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for doing this with me, Dean, because I don't think a little booklet like this gives enough credit and justice to this beautiful deck. And that's why I'm really glad, because I really got frustrated with some of the cards, and it's nice to have your viewpoint on
Yes.
on this. And because I found that vice versa, it's too incomprehensible, and I found it really difficult. And I saw you using this deck, and that's why I bought it. It fascinated. So yes, I love this deck. Thank you for doing this with me.
You're quite welcome. And when she's talking about the vice versa deck, it is this beautiful deck right here. And it had great artwork, which drawed me to this deck. And it was like, you need me. And I picked it up, and then I wasn't prepared. I was drawn to it, but I wasn't prepared for how confusing it was.
Dito. I second that, and I just sold mine. So perhaps somebody else might have a better luck with it, but I'm hearing it about that deck quite often. People put it down and they find it too difficult. And what is magical about this is both cards are on the same face, and not you don't have to keep on doing this, which is tiresome.
And there's no confusion of what's positive and what's negative. And I think that was kind of my issue with this deck or similar decks like this one, or that give you the vice versa, or the duality of both cards. The Tarot of Oppositions, they take that guesswork out. It really shows you what's positive and what's negative.
It's also much easier for beginners to read this, and also to do the shadow work, the shadow, the dark side, for yourself or for others.
Yes.
Dealing with the dark side, or I call the dark side, the shadow side, is the side that is what you're scared of, or what you're apprehensive or doubtful about. That is what I call the dark side.
That's interesting because I don't call it dark. I always call it positive, negative.
Yeah.
But to each their own, and everybody else has their different, interpretations of that, light and dark. So
yeah, it's dark. It sounds too negative. So I say shadows, because it's the unknown, the subconscious. So it helps you to bring things from the subconscious into the conscious, and that is what I find fascinating and easier to do, if you understand what I mean.
yes. So go
Sorry
ahead and
about.
get it kicked off. Go ahead and get it started, Char. The cups.
Oh yeah, that mean love. And anyway, I love the way, and in this card you can really see the hand and the claw. Look at that. He's grasping like a claw. You heard me going on about that previously. The claw and the hand. You can see the love or the sharing of, with the way he grasps that cup. And here he's holding on to love, or holding on for dear life.
It almost like snarled, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
and you can see the light in here, like the sunrise is coming up and the clouds are clearing away. The light is there, and in below the dark side, the shadow side, you can see that the clouds are coming in from the bottom. Do it, reverse it that way, then the clouds are coming up from the bottom, from the horizon, and going up. So, and it's also quite eerie, I find, the shadow side. It reminds me of Dracula or Frankenstein. Sorry. Well, everybody knows what the cup in the upright means. The cup flows over love, passion, nurturing, sensuality, and sexuality.
being like accepting of new, like,
Love,
romances, new having
open
that
to love,
balance.
open to new love, open, because when you've had a relationship before, you shut yourself off, and that is what the shadow side means to me. Shutting yourself off, isolating, or holding on to the old thoughts. I'm thinking of people that are separated or have just been separated, trying to hold on to old memories and not letting go yet of those old memories, and the pain in the heart. You can see the frustration in the hand, that claw.
And I find
not wanting to face the fact that it is over. Night has fallen.
And I also feel like it's not receptive. It's very closed, and I feel like it's very, like, very, very petty. Like, how, like, you hurt me. I don't want to be. I'm done with you. Leave me alone. Go away. It's like not being able to be comfortable with yourself. It's like very, very very catty, very, like,
that claw.
Very catty.
Sticking those nails in.
And it could be, you can see this as either driving it into the ground because you're really upset about it, or like on attack mode, because like any cat being like cornered, you're like, feel like you're being attacked, and it's just, you're not open to receive or overflowing.
Right, like driving it into the ground, because these cards are, let me put it that way, these cards are, I don't know, I've got to work back to front here. You can see the line here, and he's literally driving that, let me put it that way, he's literally driving that cup into the ground, because that's where it stops. It's going into the ground. Do you see? So what you said, driving into the ground, yes. Also, the word degradation comes to me, putting people down. The love is lost. You are already separated in your mind and your heart from the one that you are with. Driving something into the ground. Yeah. Shall we go on to number 2, or have you got any more to say about 1?
No, I mean, it's self-explanatory. I felt like this. I never had an issue with this card. The cups really wasn't the issue. It was some of the other decks that I felt like, this I see weird, get weird vibes from some
Yeah,
cards, but
like
not
the
the
Queen of
cups.
Swords, like the Queen of Swords, that was the one that stuck out with me.
The Queen of
Again,
Pentacles was the one that stuck out to me because it just I don't like how the artist drew that one.
no, it's because of the light and dark. If you want to know about it, then have a look at the video. Now,
The Two of
also,
Cups.
I love the artistry. How do you say that? I can't get my word.
Artistry.
Artistry, that's it. Sorry about my English. Sometimes I do get stuck. But
I
this,
fumble too, so no worries.
okay. Well, I just love this card because they are really into each other and they're sharing. This is the Two of Cups. Now, in some of the cards, they're looking away, like at the Nine of Pentacles or the Ten of Pentacles. When the door is open, or they're trying to open the door, and the man is looking away, and the woman is looking. It's more about the woman. So I think this deck is also very feministic, more orientated to the woman.
I would have to agree with that one.
Sorry?
I'd have to agree that it is more feminine driven.
Towards the caring and the nurturing, perhaps you can look at the feminine that way. Not feminine like the woman, but some people could say it's a feministic deck.
Mm-hmm.
But this is quite a lovely card because they are together and they are in love. They're facing each other and not away. And I love the way it's separated with the shield, the justice, the sword of justice, or also that what the I think it's the who holds this. That's also like, I forgot what it's called, but it's got something to do. I don't know the precise meaning, but it's also I forgot the name of this sign, but it's either the magician or the Hierophant or the emperor that holds that scepter in some of the decks.
Mm-hmm.
But the negative side, you can see that this is what I'm saying. She's looking away from him, right? And he's still facing her, but she's turned her back on him.
It's almost like she's offering her cup to somebody else.
Yeah. You can, definitely, she's holding the cup to the future. And also, they're not holding hands here.
It's almost like he's infatuated with her, but she doesn't want to have anything to do with them.
And look at the back. It's all cracked.
Mm-hmm.
It's the wall that's cracked. Or is it trees? At the first glance, it looks like a wall that's cracked, that the foundations have cracked. But if you look at it very proper, on the good side, it is trees, and then on the reverse, it is all. We have to say or take it as trees, but they're bare. There's no love left.
This would tell me that it's cold out,
Yeah.
like winter or the end of fall. So it's very the relationship is very cold. There's no partnership. There's no love. There's no commitment. It's just it's almost one-sided in a way to where I've learned everything I need to learn from you, and I'm moving on to what sustains me.
Yeah. Also, they're not holding hands, but it also, in the first instance, when I first saw it, I thought it was a wall that was cracked. So then it reminded me of the cracked foundations. But anyway, you could interpret it that the relationship is cracked. There's no repair. There's no way back.
And if you look at the position of their shoulders, he's looking down his shoulder, like he looks down at her, and she's looking up her shoulder, like she's looking up towards the future.
Yeah. Would you interpret that that he's looking down at her because she's less worth than what he is? That do you think he could be a big head in reading?
Possibly, but it would also have to determine like what other cards follow or precede it. But
That's true.
I could definitely see that he's doesn't have all his stuff together and that he wants to impress her, but he can't. But it depends on what the other cards would flow. But
There's no respect left. There's no respect. And she's okay with that because she's moved on.
Yep.
Okay. Wow. Can be heavy. Now, this is a card that I find very strange. How can you celebrate? How can you celebrate in your own? Because usually this is the Three of Cups, and it's only got one person. So this is really strange. Celebrations you do with others. So I don't really like this card. But you do see things blooming. Sorry about the glare, but it's already very dark, like midnight here. And I have to use false light. So she's looking smug or happy. Some people could say smug. And there's blossoming flowers, but and the grapevine or the blue rain, as we call them.
Mm-hmm.
It can also be the grapevine coming to fruition, plucking the harvest. So that could be celebrations. But I think it's very strange to just have a single person there.
That is true. It's only one person. It's usually when you see Three of Cups, it's a set of three of something, usually. Yep. Usually three people together. With this card in general, I feel like if this is supposed to be like a Three of Cups, I would have to say maybe celebrating her own success, optimistic, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Still, it takes away the tarot meaning, because the Three of Cups or the Three of Swords in a reading can also be used as a third party. So this would be a dead loss in that case.
Mm-hmm.
Or the author has totally excluded the possibility of having a third party.
Or if you want to think of it like that way, it could be a one person considering the me, myself, and I type of format.
Yeah.
Being complete with me, myself, and I.
Yeah, so just totally selfish.
But then on the reverse side too, it just feels like you have Cinderella, just suffering in her own doom. I mean, I don't understand this. Like you said too, I never thought about it, but I don't really understand this card.
Well, I like your interpretation of Cinderella. She was on her own, and she was destitute and dressed like a slave. Then yes, I would celebrate, but then I would expect the prince to stand next to her.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like that interpretation of yours. But again, it's dead, dry wood breaking. So yeah, the cup is empty. You can see that she's holding an empty cup on her lap. And the vase of the wine is broken. There's nothing containing the bottle, the container. And she's designated. Yeah, I think that's a very boring card.
Now the Four of Cups, I feel like that's another interesting perspective too. Because I always see the Four of Cups, it's either like you're rejecting something, or you're not seeing something that might be hidden, or you're not ready to accept something. Even the most fantastic thing, that you may be rejecting could be your best option, like I even said today. And with this on the top side, I see like it's almost like you're giving up, like, okay, I'll accept whatever is to come. And then on the reverse side, it's like I accepted it and now it's my doom.
Well, like we did say in the last suits, like there's only two cups. So if you're a beginner, this is a difficult deck to start off with because you have to concentrate. If we find it sometimes a bit difficult, or because we give our own interpretations, that's because you can have the other two cups. We have already decided that the Four of Cups are in the card, but the card, you have to see the card as one whole thing, because the Four of Cups is there. But you don't see the divine hand offering the incoming offer, or the possibility, or the opportunity. She is looking into the cup, but there's still another cup standing there. So she's not seeing that one. So yes, I can understand that an opportunity, making a choice, but she's not supposed to be conscious. She's supposed to be depressed and desperate and boring and depressed. And she doesn't look really depressed here, if you ask me. She's looking into the cup. So yeah. And then here on the reverse side, you don't
it's the same face, but they just made her hair more tethered, and that's it. And everything is just crumbled. It doesn't.
And, the broken cups. It is. She's not so colorful, but I don't find that the right way up is all that colorful either. So they could have done something more with this.
Yeah, like the positive or the light side could have been more optimistic, you know.
Yes. More sunshine, more vibrant colors, like the sun is rising up, and you're not aware of it.
And if you're looking at it too on the top side, or the positive or the light side, the light source is still, it's in the bottom, not.
Yes, I was just going to say that, but you took the words out of my mouth.
It's like it's on the bottom, not on the top. And you would figure it would be on the top, not the bottom. But
right. But I think
you want to speak more into that, Char?
I think it's because it's also dark. They have to give it a little bit of light. But yeah, they should have put the light on top of the crown, like a lighter sky, and put her into the light, perhaps in the moonlight or something. And then the light at the bottom is coming to rise up to do something. I think that would have been better. But you're so right. But I also see, it's again, the tree is green here, so that's blossoming, and here the leaves are falling. I thought it was bugs and flies flying around.
It could be. It could be.
She's getting stung.
Like, that's not a good way to look at it. She didn't fall through with it's like somebody not taking that leap of faith, like their guides or their angels telling them this, because coming from a spiritual mindset, it's like, the divine was always coming to you. He's like, you need to do this, you need to do this, look out for this. And then it's like, boom, I'm going to throw it in your lap to where you, this kind of mindset, boom, now the rain is there. Now you have to deal with it. You have to, it's like God gave you all the opportunities to address it. But then when you rejecting it, then it's like he has no other opportunity but to get your attention, and it might mean a little bit of havoc to get you on the right path.
Well, the English saying, you have to fall flat on your face before you can dust yourself off. Stand up and dust yourself off.
And I think this card does a real good job of showing that duality. But I would have preferred the artist to done it a little bit different, or I don't know.
Well, I know that I believe that tarot, and some of the tarot, leads too far away from the real meaning of tarot, the mythology, the Greek stories behind it, the Roman stories, the origin. And like you say, the spiritual is not in this card. The hand that reaches out, or even a sign of the spiritual side, because tarot is, after all, about spirituality.
Yeah, I mean, even if this card had on the light side, had an arm like on like a comforting hand or arm reaching
Yes,
out,
hand on the
resting on
shoulder.
the shoulder for support. I would have liked that even with the coloring. That would mean that there's optimism, there's a possibility, but
There is support.
yeah.
Wow. Shall we go on to the next one?
The number 5. I found this one interesting too because most of the time in most decks you see the 5 of Cups as depression, anxiety, loss of hope, just having that pity party almost. But in this one, on the top side, they really like make it seem like the person actually is at a good place. That this woman or this whoever that individual is, male or female, that energy's at a good place. This person's ready
Yeah.
to move on, ready to address
Yes.
whatever life has to offer, is ready to move on with
Yeah.
whatever negativity that was on them. And the
But
negative side is not. Would you want to add to that?
well, you know, like you usually see 5 cups, and you see the 5 cups here.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the other 2 cups at the bottom. But when I read it, then I usually say, look at what you've got and not what you don't have. And and I say, pick those 2 cups up. And she's got 1 cup. She's already picked 1 cup up, and she's taken another tulip from the vase and is moving on. I love that.
And then you can also include this, the one in the middle, like
Yeah.
that's her past she's leaving behind. Like, yeah, I still don't cry over that spilled milk. I'm like you normally say, right? I have 2. So what if that one is sitting down? But I'm not gonna let that get me down because I have 2 cups still left and moving forward. And I love their choice of colors for the flowers. Yellow,
Yep.
that bright, cheery, happy. We
Yellow,
love yellow.
in England, yellow roses means love forever.
Mm-hmm. Just the yellow. I love the color yellow, and I think it was my mother's favorite color too, because she loved like the basic. She was basic when she loved daisies, right?
The sun, yellow, the warmth.
And yellow, it's like sunlight, sunshine. That's how I'm seeing this. Like looking forward to future, looking for being at peace with oneself, almost.
Yeah. But she's very spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry about the glare. She's very spiritual. She's happy with what she's got. Now, if you look at the negative side, she's not looking at the cups, and she's looking at the material side of things. And it's not the love that she's missing, but her person that brought in the bacon.
Her way of life has been disturbed.
Her support, her bacon, her life supply has gone. Yep. This might be very male chauvinistic viewpoint. In a very feministic deck.
Well, there's a lot of women that could be just as materialistic.
Yeah.
Because remember in the 80s, Madonna even said material girls. So I think that's funny.
Well, women can even be male chauvinistic.
Mm-hmm.
I even held a speech over male chauvinism in the 1985.
And I feel like it's like emasculation, like where a lot of times women can demasculate men, and it's like a lot of men do not feel comfortable with that, and it puts the
demasculation, bringing down the man and making the man more feminine.
Like they emasculate, like they challenge them, and it's like how like male chauvinism. It's like the opposite of male chauvinism towards a woman. It's the opposite of the emasculation. It's like ripping away that strength that a man feels like he has to have, that control, that leadership ability. Because men were designed by nature to be the leader of the family, and women were designed by nature to be his support, to be the one that runs the home front, that takes care of him and the children. So this to me just seems very materialistic, seems very dark and gloomy, seems very like not focusing like what the cups in themselves are about emotional stability, looking at looking at not being, this is a very shallow person, not a complete person. Very
Yeah,
shallow.
I just love this card because what has brought it away or on our path, talking about feminism and masculinism, male chauvinism, but it's like the women in the kitchen and in the bedroom. And unfortunately, still some people still think like that. But also, if you get this in this card, this is what I love about these discussions, Dean, is, you know, stand up for yourself. Are you a feminist? Who are you? What are you? Look at your own worth. Stand up for yourself. Don't bring anybody down. Don't let yourself be brought down, not by a female, not by a male. Stand up to a male chauvinism or feminism. Equality. You need equality in a relationship to be happy. And also, it's a beautiful card for divorcees. Respect each other, separate in peace, even in a difficult times. And then you can go on to number 6. Don't use children as pawns. This is an amazing follow-up. I love this follow-up.
And too, you could just say with the 5 of Cups too, with both sides, you can also see it as, don't focus on the material side of things, because these, just like my dad would say, son, these are just things.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of the clutter. That doesn't bring us joy and happiness. I mean, it's all their things. We don't need to worry about things that I mean, it's all about the relationships and building relationships, being happy with yourself.
Basically, this is the material side, and this is the spiritual side, nature, nurturing, taking care, being grateful for what you've got and not for what you have. Beautiful. Beautifully said.
And the next card, like you've already mentioned it, the 6 of Cups, going into the 6 of Cups. I love this card. As a single father, I love this card because it really does show a relationship that fathers can have, that connection, that love with their children. They can be teachers too, that they can be both feminine and masculine, and do those things. It doesn't matter. In this case, it's a father and son. It could be a father and daughter. It could be it could even be a mother and daughter. It could be a mother and son interpretation.
I'm a single mom of 2 daughters.
Yes.
And you can have magical relationships.
So I love this. I love this card. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I love it. Enjoy the company, the quality time that you can have with children or family or friends.
Yes.
Take quality time out because he's fishing. So you don't have to go do something what you like, you both like. So you can really get that soul understanding.
And then when we look on the reverse side, I just see neglect.
Yeah.
The wishing, the wanting to be connected to somebody, but not connected.
Yeah. And whether you're your child or whether you're grown up, let your inner child out, and you can cry.
That is a good point that you mentioned that, because I was looking at that too, just now thinking about this. You need to let your inner child out.
Yeah.
This is that time for, like, you need to, like,
heal.
It's okay, yes, to be selfish, putting yourself first. Heal yourself and focus on me, myself, and I at that moment, and find the things that make you happy.
And when your children are around and you need to be grown up, you're there to protect them. I love this card.
And it also reinforces that we, by default, cannot live in seclusion. We cannot, because we have to have that connection, that touch, that feeling of somebody else.
Yes, and that is what the lockdown is minimizing, if not taking away, all over the world.
Yes.
And I think that's such a pity. But thank goodness we do have Zoom and Stream or DreamYard. I call it DreamYard.
Yes.
It's nice
So,
because without that, I would have never met you.
exactly. And I mean, it just meant that we had to do other things to reach out and connect. But there's still something that has to be said. This is a simple solution, but it's limited because you do need that sense of touch and feeling. Yes. Just even a hug or a handshake goes a long way. And like I said, it's by default, we have to have that interaction somewhere, somehow. Because I think if we don't, we go crazy in a way.
Well, I think you're right, because suicide is up, and also mental stress and illness is up, especially between the children from 12 or younger and up to young adults. They don't know how to cope with life. They don't know how to cope with all the changes. It's happening much too fast. They're not interested in politics. They want the same things. They want to get married. They want to have a home. They want to have a family, but they don't know how, because they don't know how to socialize. So this physical connection, and they're just sitting there all day on their telephone, yep, or playing or TikTok or whatever.
Because they're looking for that stimulus from somewhere else. And I was having a conversation with Kathleen from Kathleen's Guide to Light Tarot, and from Kevin from Kevin's.
She's lovely.
Yes, I love working with her.
I love her.
And from Kevin's Loving Vibrations.
She's like Mother Tarot.
Yes, and Kevin's Loving Vibrations. And I was like saying, isn't it funny? Like, because I was playing like the Seekers, like "Hey There, Georgie Girl," and she's like, "This is such an interesting song. It brings back. It's so whimsical. It makes you feel carefree of like the olden times." It's like, yes, because there was no all this need for technology. People were people, and people felt connected, like
flower power,
and talking, enjoying each other's company without any distractions. There was no distractions other than a television set, maybe, or a record player.
People used to come, and there used to be perhaps one of the richest family or well-off family in the village, and everybody used to stand outside watching through the window if there was a football match or the Queen's speech. It drew everybody out of the woodwork. And the same with telephones and radio.
Everybody knew their neighbors, and now it's like nobody knows nobody. Nobody wants to talk to anybody, and everybody's like, it's all about me. Like, what's in it for me? Like,
yeah. Even if you give a compliment on the street when I take a dog out, and they say, "Oh, you look at lovely hat or a lovely coat," they look at you very strangely.
And it goes back to people are not afraid to accept compliments or feedback, even, because then they focus on, what do you mean by that? It's very like, oh, like they're afraid almost. And then especially the kids I work with, it's almost like they're afraid to fail. And I'm like, people, it's okay to fail, because that's the great life's greatest teacher. You learn so much about what not to do. You learn about how that maybe I need to focus on this better. It's like, don't look at it as a bad thing. Look at it as something positive.
Yes.
Which gets us
fall down, stand up, dust yourself off, and carry on again. Yeah.
Yes. Which leads us into number 7, which I love.
Talking about falling down. He might have fallen down because he didn't get his dreams. And he's fallen down, he's crying, he's exhausted because he didn't get his dreams. It sounds more negative than positive, but that's like his dreams.
Looking at this, I feel like somebody had a bad hangover, celebrated way too much.
You see that the cup is upside down and it's falling out. It's not coming to him. It's like if it's fallen out and wasted. And he's fallen asleep.
Oh my gosh, this just came to me. Like, what if this is like spiritual downloads. Like one receiving the gifts, like getting
Oh, yeah, that's
that
lovely.
higher knowledge. And you see that one cup on the corner right here, that's seeping, like that support from spirit, right?
Yeah.
And the cup that's pouring, it's not like it meant for a bad thing. Maybe it's to pour in wisdom, knowledge,
Yeah.
things that you need to
Yeah.
process.
But if you look on the cup there, it is a castle. So he's most probably wanting a castle. So yes, your cup will overflow with the money or what you need to get your castle.
Or just to sustain life, to sustain yourself. That castle could be anything.
Yeah, because everybody's dreams is different or goals are different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which I like about the reverse. It's like you have the top, you have the positive, the light side, you have the support of spirit, but then on the negative or the dark side of it, you have night terrors.
Yes, but also the dragon, the fear, the snake, the deceit, and you've got
The claw.
the ghostly hand like the claw. You know, you are too materialistic. You'll never succeed if you hold on, because he's holding on to his coat or whatever it is, or blanket. He's holding on to it for dear life. Sometimes you have to let go to make room for the new.
You know, I'm kind of seeing like a similarity in that on the dark side too, as like an example of like the Five of Pentacles, where your anxieties are just running rampant here.
Yes, but this is even worse than the Five of Pentacles. It's
Mm-hmm.
the comparison to the Five of Wands and the Five of Swords. With the Five of Wands, you've still got a chance. And with the Five of Swords, there is no chance.
Yep, your fate is sealed at that point.
Yeah. And so is this. If you're too materialistic, you'll lose out. And don't build castles in the sky. And that is what this one means here. Don't build castles in the sky. It's like you say, make it realistic. You can dream big, but make it realistic and solid, so that your cup does run over, that it will come to you.
Ooh, and I think this is like lavender right here, or it could be like an interpretation of lavender, the purple, because lavender is healing, isn't it?
Yeah, yes.
It's used for all type of purposes, lavender.
Yes, healing, synthetic, antiseptic, but not on open wounds or to take internally. Also relaxing, easing, quieting down.
So I think that was done on purpose, making it purple.
It's beautiful. But
There's so many things to see.
To me, it looks more like a hydrangea. Not lavender, but a hydrangea, because the blossoms are quite big.
Yes. So then what's hydrangea? What kind of plant? Is that like a healing plant as well?
No. Well, I don't know too much about hydrangeas, but they're really got big balls like that. They're in white and pink and blue and red. And they drink a lot of water.
And now we are moving to the Eight of Cups. Are we finished with the Seven of Cups?
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Eight of Cups. I always think of the Eight of Cups as it's usually depicted in the moonlight, like kind of like it's almost like the Ten of. It's almost like, to me, like a Ten of Wands. Like you have that weight, but with the Eight of Cups, it's like, you know what? I feel that it's optimism, like stepping into your future, like taking that leap of faith, going towards the future, because usually you see a silhouette of somebody walking into the moonlight almost, or walking uphill to a moon.
Well,
and
he's standing in the moonlight, where sometimes it is a beach, but you don't see the water. Sometimes it's a desert and mountains, and it's looking out to the horizon, looking and wanting what is coming out into the future, wondering, just standing there. Sometimes they do walk, also seeking adventure and excitement, but also reminding that throw old stuff away before you've got a new to replace it.
So in this interpretation, I found it very interesting because if you look at the person walking towards the mountains, which I think is very, very, very cool, because it's like, you think mountains, you think peace, you think like walking, like going into peace, because that mountain, you see that sunlight up over it, and you're walking towards something new, something that has to be better than what you're leaving behind. Just like
Yes.
the Ten of Wands in a way. We're walking towards something that's going to meet your needs. And I think that that's very, very interesting approach to that, considering with most tarot cards with the Eight of Cups, it's always a moonlight, which it's just cool. But when I think of moon, I think of secrets. I think of things that are hidden, things that are, not revealed.
I think of the mountains as obstacles.
Yes, the challenges. Yes, because in that forest, you don't know what is in there. Because even though there's light seeps through the branches, and it's still not heavily lit. So you're going to face those challenges to get to your mountain.
Yeah.
But one thing I don't understand is, why is on the top side, why is this person's head kind of hanging down?
Yes. I think he's in thought, because it's supposed to be a thinking thing, looking into the future. When he's standing up, he's looking out to the future, to the horizon. Now he's looking down, and he is in thought, thinking, where shall I go? What path? Because in this one, he's literally walking, not standing still.
And if you look, it looks like he's dropping a key, doesn't it? What is that? I don't know.
I think he's holding on to the key. And that's the key to possibilities. If you
on the top side, he's dropping it. In the reverse, he's holding on to it. That is a key.
Closing the door behind him.
Yes. Like walking away, like, I'm done with this, I'm moving on.
Yeah. And he's indeed holding on to it, like, okay, I'll take what comes, even if it is destitute, because he's standing in the rain, according to me, and the cups are flowing over, but he hasn't got anything, or he's not realizing how much he's got, and that he's walking away from it. I think that could be it, that he is not grateful, and he's not willing to see, or he cannot see, because he's shut himself off at how much he has got and how much he has accomplished.
I feel from this card too, just looking at that, it's not so much a bad thing. Maybe it's a lack of self-worth, because being somebody who is in a bad relationship, in a loveless marriage, it's like, I'm holding on to that key. I'm trying to keep these cups filled, no matter what. I'm going to make this relationship work. And even though the odds are stacked against you, and you're not believing in yourself, you're staying in a relationship that doesn't benefit you.
It doesn't have to be in a relationship, because you can be sick of your, like, I can imagine it, teenage years. I'm sick of always have to following the rules of mum and dad. I want my own place. I want my own key. Especially nowadays, children want to leave home. They think it's easy because they might have been spoiled and they've got everything. So those are the cups that you should be grateful for, that are overflowing, and they're just not satisfied. They're not seeing what they've got. They don't realize the responsibilities. If you leave, what you have to surpass great obstacles. So yes, do things gently. This is a magical way of interpreting, and I do, especially in a relationship, not feeling your self-worth. I think that can also be with teenage children. Parents might be pressuring them, and they might not feel self-worth or good enough, because the parents are putting too much of a heavy load of responsibilities on a young person. and they want to escape.
Mm. Or it can be not ready to face the challenges that you need to face.
Yeah.
You're willing in self-pity.
Well, I don't think a teenager can understand that. It could be a selfish person that's walking away and not understanding and wallowing in its self-pity.
Yes.
Wow.
That's really deep on this, aren't we? So this one was interesting, the Nine of Cups. I see, yeah. It just felt like it was an interesting perspective because the Nine of Cups, if you think from legal standpoints, you think it's as a tax collector, think somebody trying to, where's my share, the share. But then when you think of it like from other interpretations, I always feel like the Nine of Cups is saying, I'm almost complete. I realize I have some self-worth. I realize I have a chest full of knowledge, a toolkit full of things.
Got a full chest.
He's very busty, yes. Like I have a toolbox full of wealth, full of knowledge that I can use to sustain me, to keep me complete. I can go on, but when I look at this card and the positive side, I think she's coming into her own light. She's knowing her self-worth and she's happy about that. She still needs that last cup to make her whole, but she's in a happy place. It's like what we said about the Five of Cups, right? Being happy with where you're at, right?
Yeah.
Sure, there's our cups in the background that are tipped over, but life is messy. But you're going through it. Nothing is like too bad to get you down. You always try to. It's like she's looking on the positive side of life.
Yeah.
And she's ready to offer that love.
She also shows that she doesn't need a partner, whether it's from the heterosexual or the same-sex society. She can buy her own flowers. She can rejoice life for what it is, spiritually and materially, emotionally.
Mm-hmm. And with the red roses means love, right?
Yeah, but she loves herself. She's come to fulfillment. She's learned all the lessons. So she's learned to love and respect herself, and she can maintain herself. And what I also like is that she's not all that beautiful, but she's dressed up to the hilt. She's taking care of herself. And that's what I like about it. And
now Mae West.
Yeah.
I feel Mae West on this. Like a saloon, like a hostess of a saloon. Like
she was a good actress.
Yes. I hear, hello, big boy. Have come to see me.
This looks like the barmaid.
I don't like how she's like reaching for her collar to try to expose herself. It looks like she's like she has like no self-worth. But like the material side, like on the Five of Cups again, looking at the materials, like she's in it for like what anybody has to offer her almost.
You will be taken down on TikTok for this.
Oh yeah.
I had which deck? It was this deck. It was the Star, and the Star is totally nude, and I got blocked. It was taken down because it was regarded as nudity. So I wrote back to them and say, well, this is art. This is tarot. This is not considered nudity. Well, so I reckon you'll get put down for that because you can even see the nipple on this one. So this is a racy deck.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I mean, they're clothed. It's not like they're clothed. Everybody in this deck is clothed, I think.
No, yes, but you can still see through the clothes. So I like the way this deck brings out humor and seriousness.
It's almost like a seductress, almost.
Right.
But if you look in the background, you still see those roses. I don't know if they're in the face or she's holding it. Oh, she's holding them behind her back. That's what she's doing. She's holding those roses behind her back.
Yes.
Like,
she's not showing what she's got or what she's capable of.
yeah, she's not showing her full deck. And somebody who's really skittish won't show you their deck, you know. And with the top side, she has her self-worth, and you take her as she is. So that's where it's like hiding that love, hiding my openness, my transparency, or showing it and giving it out. So yeah.
Wow. Shall we go on to number 10?
Yes, number 10.
I love number 10. It is a really happy, and it's done with coffee cups. And you can see the little ladybird for luck.
Yes. I also like the lily. Are those lilies?
I think they're more like daffodils.
Daffodils? I don't know. I just feel like summertime, sitting on the deck, relaxing.
Yeah. Do you know what a ladybird means? It means good luck, but here in Holland, no violence.
Oh.
There's a group, you can get a little brooch, no violence, against violence.
That's interesting. But I do like the ladybug touch to it.
Yeah, love and luck. Now, it's a totally different picture in the upside down. Broken, cracked. You can't mend it.
I feel death almost.
Yeah. Withering away.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we go on to the page?
Yes, the page. This one wasn't. I don't like the artwork on this. I feel like it's very weird.
It looks like a 15th century painter.
Yes, this looks like a woman.
No, it's the page. I don't think it looks like a woman. I think it looks like a page boy or a sailor from the 15th century. I don't like it. It's again the beautiful side is too purpley, too dark in the background compared to the other one. Here you can see the sun is rising, so that would confuse a beginner because of the golden color.
I don't, it's hard for me to get an impression on this card because it's like, I don't know.
Well, here he brings an offer or brings news, and here he's taking the news.
And if you look closely on the top side, the page is not really even looking at the cup. The either the woman or the male, whichever, because pages could be either or. This person's looking off to the side. They're not looking at the cup, ready to offer it. This person's looking off to the
side. They're holding the cup here and looking with the face there, but the eyes there.
Yeah, it's like, do I really want to? Should I? I don't know. I think this is not a good card.
Let's go to the next one.
I like this one though. I think it's cool.
Yes.
The king of the king. Whoops, no, the queen.
The knight.
Knight. Where is it? Oh, here it is. The knight.
He's coming in with an offer.
I see Romeo written all over this. I always say Knight of Cup. That's Romeo. That's Valentino.
Yeah.
And if you notice, he has the horse has on its harness, it has a heart.
Yep. And
this knight, yeah, she's ready to offer love. And on the opposite side, not ready for commitment, betrayed,
thrown
away, possibly even lost.
The horse is actually a wrong color. It should be a dapple, a gray-white horse. not a brown. That's pentacles.
Interesting.
And you can see he's not wearing a helmet. He's not ready for fighting. He's not going to fight for his love.
No, and he's missing some of his armor pieces, because if you look at his legs, it looks like he doesn't have his protection for his legs.
No, it's all dark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then the Queen.
The Queen.
She's gorgeous, and with the seagulls as well. I love the seagulls.
And again, the bird is the seagull is white, is pure.
Yeah.
Harmony.
She's gorgeous. She's also wearing jewelry like Princess Diana did on her forehead.
Or a headband.
Yeah. Diana did that, brought that into fashion.
Oh, like a beaded headband that goes around the forehead.
With the emeralds.
Oh. Right. Very 1920s.
Yeah. But Diana brought it back in. She got the emeralds were lent to her from the Queen, and she had it put on velvet.
Oh, a choker?
Yep. And you've got the choker here. And the bad side, and the negative side, and the shadow side. And she's drinking a lot, trying to forget her problems. And that claw again.
Yes.
You can see that claw again.
Like not ready to face the future, not ready to face face herself.
Closed her hand. Yeah. Not open to anything. And the Queen with the cup stands with an open hand ready to receive.
Yep. The palm to hold the base of the cup, and the other hand enough to support the cup. Yeah. There's nothing jarring about the hands. It's basically soft. And when you think of a lot of the negative sides of our cards, the hands are either soft on the positive, or gnarled or jarred or really hard on the
if you go to the king, he's got a weird hand. It's like he's crippled.
Very cynical.
He's very old. He's nothing that you would interpret as love. He's very skinny and fragile. So I think he's wrong for the King of Cups.
He reminds me of a gnome, a garden gnome.
Yeah.
The mystical gnomes.
He doesn't remind me of Neptune. He doesn't remind me of a handsome, caring, providing man. He's seen his days.
His chair, even, if you notice, his chair has spikes at the end of it on the positive side.
Yeah, but nothing from the sea. If you look at the negative, the shadow side, negative side, then he looks like Dracula gone wrong.
He looks very cynical.
Well, I think I'm not going to describe the king. He also looks very narcissistic and like that, evil. But no, this is a wrong card. They should call back all the cards and have all the hands redone.
It reminds me of like the Wicked Witch of the West and the Wizard of Oz. Come here, my pretty. It's like he has that stance of a warlock almost, or a witch, like just wanting to dominate, control.
Yeah, but he's not like that. He's soft and caring.
It's very much. I get this from this negative side. I get the magician. If you go back, everyone, if you go back to the first video we did with the major arcana, it reminds me of the magician in a way. Where's the magician at? Where, here you go, where the magician, the negative side, it looks like something very just deceptive, very unwelcoming, very manipulative. And that's the vibe I'm getting from this card. Very, just no.
Don't get involved with that one.
Yes, run when you see him. Run.
We've been doing this for an hour and 5 minutes. Wow.
Yes.
I hope everybody will enjoy watching it.
I hope so, because it was fun going through
Oh,
the
definitely.
cups.
We should do this more often with other decks.
Yes. So I hope you enjoyed this for everybody. If those of you who have just, skimmed through the video, that's fine because everybody has their own interpretations. Or if you're interested in this deck, I highly recommend it because it has a lot to offer for multiple as a layer, like the many layers you can add to a reading. This it does. For me personally, I would use this for investigative stuff, mysteries, or even like political stuff because it gives that vibe to me. But you can use any tarot deck for whatever purpose, but you need to use a tarot deck that calls to you for certain purposes. But I want to also thank Char from Charlie's Angels Tarot. Thank you for contacting me to set up the opportunity to go through this deck piece by piece by piece. We will be back next time, and we will be going over the final suit, which is the wands. Yes. So
Okay.
I wanted to do what, Char?
I said, okay, thank you very much, Dean, for inviting me and
Oh,
collaborating with me.
Oh yes, it's always good fun. It's always good fun because
Yeah.
even I said today on a live, you learn so much from working when collaborating with others because everybody has their quirks and you can use that into your tool bag. So yes, I want to thank everybody for watching and thank you, Shar, again, and I will see you next time.
Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.